Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so we have John, Debbie, and Sherry so far.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, and Scott. Okay, we can call the meeting to order. Let me put my video on. Okay, call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. We have in attendance Debbie, John, Scott, and Sherry. We have quorum. First order of business is to approve prior meeting minutes dated June 18th. Do I have a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I can second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is review of the financials.
I'll take that one. Our operating cash is at 46,534. That's down because we paid our annual insurance, which was paid last month. But that's expected. Our reserves are at 689,257. We had an exceptionally strong month with our money market accounts with Fidelity. Our total asset is $868,662, and nothing stands out, no concerns.
Okay, next is the iguana update. We had Delgado Pest out, and they were able to eliminate 22 iguanas from the community. They were able to retrieve 19, so that's how many we had paid for. They were mostly from Brookline and Charles. There was one from Brittany. There was like 10 to 15 iguanas that did take off. The vendors were not able to get. The vendor does recommend us having 1 to 2 more visits. And so that's the iguana update.
Did he recommend like if there was eggs or that type of thing, like he was to wait, or he was iguanas that he saw that he didn't get?
It's just that they saw some iguanas that they didn't get. I've even saw some iguanas after his visit. I seen a little baby run across by the pool area, one of those streets over there. It was a little baby one. I've seen some big ones still over by Scenic Turn. So I think that at least one more visit should be done, but at least we have eliminated a lot. So that's up to the board. I mean, he did say, because the first time that he came out and it rained, he was trying to give us a deal and reduced his trip charge from 150 to $75. And then the fee per iguana would be $20 per iguana instead of 25. So
And he'll do all the lakes for that.
yes, he told me, yeah, he'll make a day of it and do all of the lakes, correct.
Okay.
So that's up to the board. If it's as needed. So if you feel we want to call him out now, or we want to call him out in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, that's up to the board.
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and call them back out. I think the sooner that we eradicate them, get it as clean as possible, the better off we are. Does anybody agree?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that many iguanas, but I certainly will go with Marlana on that. She's, covers a lot more of the community a lot more often than I do. I mean, I see, 1 or 2 here or there.
They rapidly multiply around the lakes. I know around this one, behind my house, it'll go from like 1 or 2 to 5 to 6 quickly.
And
That's
we've
why I
had some
say that.
homeowners on the south side that there've been a lot of them.
All right. I'm okay with having them come back out.
Okay, so that's Sherry and John, Debbie and Scott.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Okay. I will let him know.
And if they recommend waiting a little bit, we'll wait a little bit. Yeah, but
Right.
you know, whatever.
He was actually recommending 2 visits. He's like, and then he believes you'll just be able to maintain ever
Right.
so often. I think we would know better after 1 visit,
Right.
you know. So I wouldn't say approve 2 visits, 1 visit, and then let's see. Especially because 10 to 15 right away, you know, took off and they weren't able to get.
Right.
So I want them to get that 10 to 15 at least.
So they're not multiplying.
Yeah, exactly. Because they do so much damage to our landscaping, and then they you know, are not very healthy. They can leave diseases behind and go after pets and things like that.
I just remember when we started this, the first trip, the guy was out and collected like over 50 iguanas. But I guess our infestation is not that bad anymore.
Well, between the 2 trips that he's done so far, that's like 40 already.
Yeah.
So it's getting up there. The count's getting up there.
Mhm.
All right. So next on the agenda is tree replacement.
We've got 2 different sections that I'm aware of. One on Scenic Turn, we've got some silver buttons that were put in 4 or 5 years ago. Eli put them in, and they're just not doing well. So I'd say let's put foxtails in their place. The foxtails seem to grow well.
How many trees are over there?
3.
3. And the bubblers and irrigation's already set up for it. One of the silver buttons is dead, and the other 2 are just, I don't know, for some reason never took off, never, after 4 or 5 years, they should be growing, and they're not.
The other location that's starting to get yellow and starting to die, but is not dead yet, is right behind the basketball court.
Which side of the basketball court?
Let me think. It is south of Butterfield.
On the west side of the, like,
Soon as you make that turn,
The grasses or the trees that are there?
no, yeah, it's the trees. There's 2, I believe, off the top of my head. They're not dead yet, though.
those foxtail palms?
They're just starting to yellow now. Roger said, you know, we're gonna have to keep an eye on those. And I know Eli put those in also.
These trees that are not doing well but aren't dead, have they been fertilized and different things like? Okay, I just wanted.
Yes.
double
Even the
check
ones
that
that
was all.
died were fertilized a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a drive-through with the vendor regarding these trees in those areas.
And
Okay.
they've
thank
checked the
you.
irrigation in those areas?
Yes, the irrigation's working because the grass is all green around it. So yes,
The buttons,
not
the
water.
buttons never really took off. I mean, we've been working, they've been there for years, but the foxtails all seem to be growing well and quickly. I'm surprised. I think that's what you're talking about by the basketball court. We put in foxtails there.
Yeah.
And that's what Eli was recommending in place of I forgot the thing, queen palm, or not a royal palm, but there's a more traditional single stalk palm that's fighting. There's some fungus or something. It's been hitting them.
The feedback that I was getting from Roger was that the plants, when these trees were put in, they were too small, number one, and for them to, you know, decline this rapidly and not thrive, he thinks that they were sold to us with already a disease of some sort, that they were already sick. He's like, because we fertilized them and everything, they're getting water, there's no reason for them to die.
Right. All right.
All right, so next on the agenda is, or were we done talking about that? for now?
Yeah, because we've got to do something along Boca Rio
Yeah,
on the north side, but I don't think we're there yet. There's still a lot of construction. When I spoke to the project manager from Bergeron, he said, yeah, it may look a lot, that it's almost done, but there's a lot of work left and they're going to be working hard to finish mid-November. So, I don't think we're ready to put trees in. They did put the sod down, so that's next is irrigation. And he said they will bring in water trucks for a period of time, but he has no idea. He couldn't tell me how many trips, how long, how often. It's sort of like just not an important, bit for them, so while they were nice and helpful, they weren't, they just don't have a lot of detailed information for us. So, but once we get that sorted out with the irrigation, then we'll have to figure out, we're going to have to put some hedges along the north side as a barrier. And then maybe a few of us meet with Roger and some of the homeowners in that area and see what's going to work the best. But we can put that off another month or so.
okay.
And maybe we can talk to Roger about what he feels, what plant, what tree, like to replace those buttons.
Well,
What,
I was thinking foxtails, but if he has other suggestions.
Okay.
if the other two aren't doing well, is it an issue with those? I don't want to put more in if he finds that there's an issue with them, or if it's just those two specifically.
Okay. We'll speak to him about that. Okay, next up is irrigation proposals. So these proposals are for the scenic turn area where they're doing the Boca Rio construction, that new sod.
Right.
Naves came in at $5,400. And then Spectrum, which is Roger, our current landscaper, came in at $2,480.
So I guess my question on that one is that the 5,400 shows that it's for 4 new zones, but Rogers doesn't specify.
I knew that was going to be a question. That's funny. And before our meeting, I text him. I have 2 different phone numbers, and I said, "Hey, I already know my board's going to ask this because I don't see it in my proposal." But unfortunately, he hasn't answered yet.
Yeah, I think we need to get more clarification on his bid because there's too big of a difference.
Absolutely.
The only thing is, it is pretty important for us to get the irrigation going because it looks like some of that grass is already starting to die. There's no irrigation where they put a lot of this sod. And even though the vendor told John that, oh, we'll let you know when we're going to put it down, no, they didn't. I noticed when I was on site.
Yeah, they told me, it's like, oh, it's coming, not right away, but it's, we'll get to it. And then like 10 days later, it was there. I mean, looking at some of the pricing that we've gotten from Spectrum, it's not out of line for him to be on the low end of things. The tree replacements have been cheaper than Eli. he's trying to get our wet checks, and his bid is half of what Naves is.
I'm trying to call him now to see if he'll answer, even though it's so late.
Right.
I happen to think because I'm a workaholic, everybody is. No answer. But if the board feels comfortable with the, approving it, and then I can find out exactly, and then if we want to make revisions to the proposal or something, we can.
Yeah, because we need to get this done, and I think
I
Rob,
didn't want to wait until today. We got these proposals Monday.
right? And in the same time, we're assuming that Naves is getting water from the same area. And he's not, he doesn't mention like cutting the asphalt to run the lines, so.
Mhm.
So I make a proposal to accept the bid from Spectrum, tentative on clarification of a few details.
You need a motion?
Motion, yeah.
Is there a second to that motion?
It's just sort of a vague motion. So,
Yeah.
What about making it more detailed then? We could say something like we make a motion to approve pending it's at least 4 zone installation, since Naves gave us 4 zones, or we could say 3 zones.
Well, I think you need to, compare apples to apples. So yeah, it should match the zone.
That area is going to need at least 4 zones, just based on the number of heads. You can only run so many at a time.
Mhm.
Well, we could definitely approve it if it was the same thing that the other, estimate is for. Or if he needs more, since hits less money, if we could approve a range for him for it to be the 4. I don't know what's the best way to handle that.
So you need to make sure that Spectrum's bid includes the proper number of zones.
Well, I met with Roger, and we walked that area, and he's like, yeah, I can definitely put, sprinklers here and there. And I told him where we currently have the irrigation sprinklers, which is right around the lake. And I showed him where we needed some sprinklers, and I said, there's no sprinklers over that area. And you can tell that there's none because some of the grass, you can tell it's just different, where the grass that's getting irrigation that has sprinklers, it's more green. The other side is not as green. So he was pretty confident in where he was putting what, but he didn't mention, to me how many zones, and that was not in this proposal. So I think if we, approve pending that this is at least 4 zones, I think that's a safe motion.
Okay, I can go along with that. I can second that then. John.
Well, I can't make the motion. Someone
I thought
else
John
has
made the
to.
motion.
I'm just
All
trying
right.
to give you guys
Let's
some
withdraw the
ideas.
first motion I made and start over.
Okay.
You want to go, Sherry?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll make a motion to approve, what's the company, what's their name again?
Spectrum.
Spectrum's estimate for our
For $2,480.
for new zone installation of new sod.
Pending there's 4 new zones, yes, installed.
How's that?
I think that's perfect. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor? And I won't sign the proposal or anything. I'm gonna get clarification, get all of that to the board, before anything
Perfect,
finalized.
perfect, perfect.
Okay, so with that, it is homeowner open forum on agenda items. If any homeowner has any questions or comments on today's agenda items, please unmute yourself. It does not seem that any homeowners have any questions or comments.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Well, second,
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Thanks for
night.
coming.
thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.